So it's New Year's. And you got to thank heaven for the weather, because sometimes you just keep running. And if the weather was what it ought to be, I'd be out on a pond right now, a frozen pond, with my ice fishing gear. But we've had a warm up here in New England, and so it's a chance for me to get everything squared away. Make sure that tip-ups haven't been spooled backwards, and make sure my hooks are sharp and I got the right leaders, and we convert over to ice fishing. But this is a time here, the New Year's season, when we can reflect back about what we did, what kind of fun we had, where we went, the explorations we made, the catches we brought in the 2022 season, and look forward into the 2023 season. A little less than a year ago, Tom Stewart and I made a trip down to Clara Barton's hometown and Tom's, Oxford, Mass. We checked out Saccharappa Pond. Shortly thereafter, me and my buddies headed out to Lake George and tried the lake trout through the ice. Not successfully, but it was a good time. Keith Meadson and I explored Cheshire Reservoir under the haunted slopes of Mount Greylock. And of course, me and Beetroot and Price, along with Laker LaChapelle, pounded Lake George in our yearly May trip that's so awesome on so many levels. We did some projects in the Connecticut River Valley, including Lake Warner, where we caught some fish and checked out Joe Hooker's hometown. And of course, we even got into a little geology this year, heading out to discover drumlins at Gore Pond in Central Mass. Now, I haven't made these videos yet, but we got the Adirondacks coming. We go out to the West Canada Creek in the middle of the summer and hit a couple of bass lakes as well. A little fly fishing and bass action with the Henry family. We also, my brother Steve and I, head out to Woodstock, New York to check out the history of that festival and fish a pond where the hippies did a little swimming, discovering along the way some really cool American Revolutionary history. Speaking of history, where do you find more of it than Lake George? And of course, we've got film in the can that's going to be coming to you soon from last year's trip, as well as some film on another revolutionary stronghold in New England, Lake Champlain, where I went with YouTube's own Keith Meadson. Check out his First or Fence if you like NASCAR. So we've got just about 2 full years on YouTube with Fishing Historic Places, and we're up to about 1,850 subscribers, which is pretty cool. And the shorts have been doing fairly well. I've had a couple that have gone semi-viral, but you know, I've been making my long-form videos every week now for the last several months, and we've been exploring a lot of what the Northeast has to offer. There's a lot more. This season, I've got some plans to head out east, hit the Concord River, the Sudbury River, where there's some major historical happenings that took place, and also some great fishing opportunities. There's always Western Massachusetts' more northern section, and we went up to the Hoosick Tunnel this year. We're going to be going back to the Deerfield up there and exploring some of the other areas. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is I'm going to be creating a Remembrance Moment series on King Philip's War. And if you know about King Philip's War, it's probably the bloodiest war that was ever fought within what is now the United States. And King Philip's War influences the history of the United States from that point on. Now, where I happen to live, it is the heart of King Philip's War, right? Western Massachusetts, Connecticut River is where some of the great moments of the war took place. A sad time, really, a time when the Puritans and Pilgrims were struggling for dominance against the native tribes that they had wronged in several different ways. But the point is, I'm going to be bringing you a series of 10 to 20 minute little tidbit videos on the various aspects of King Philip's War, from the native tribes that lived here in southern New England, right through the causes of the conflict, and then the military history of the war itself. So that should be fun. And look for those coming this year. because we are approaching the 350th anniversary of that most sanguine conflict as I drive through Granville, Massachusetts, which wasn't here during King Philip's War. People told me a long time ago that fishing isn't always about catching. It's about friendships and it's about fun, and certainly it's about the wide world that you're exploring when you're doing it, which is what I'm trying to bring you with Fishing Historic Places. We're seeing things from maybe a different perspective than other channels, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing and promise that there's a lot more good stuff coming, Lord willing. So look for more in 2023, and hopefully I'll see you on the water.